All right. Mopar was right. Trash. I am trash. Here we go.
Okay, kids, let's go.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
Hello, what have we here?
You guys are so funny.
Hello.
Oh.
Holy shit. You ain't CP penis face and R2 dickhead.
Hello there.
Back at it again.
Found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good Day Galaxy, Rogue Squadron back at it again. Episode 295, 202, 223, 350. Something.
Episode 3000. We're here.
Back at it. Let's just jump into it.
Dude, let's get right into it. We got people in the chat here. Rogue Squadron in the chat. Shout out. Witch Hunter in the chat. Daco in the chat. Shout out. Oh,
What
man.
up?
I think for the accurate record, it's 274 this week.
So 274.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us. First things first, and most importantly, after our conversation last week, I thought it was important that I pick up a green original monster.
I had thought about that, and I was like, I don't feel like leaving again. I forgot it while I was out and about today. So,
Well, I'll taste test it for you. I anticipate I'll have one sip, and I'll pour the rest down the drain because I probably can't handle all this sugar. Oh, my God. All right, so it's 54 grams of added sugar. And that is 108% of your daily allowance of sugar.
and how many servings?
One serving per can.
Oh, okay. Sometimes
Luckily.
the 16 ounces are two.
Yeah, I was worried they were going to sneak a double serving in there.
Double serving.
But still, like, I feel like the American food pyramid allowance of sugar is already too high. And this is 108% of that in
Yeah.
one can.
No more sugar for the rest of the day.
And we used to have 2 of these a day.
I still.
2 of these a day every day.
I consider it.
All right, I'm having the smell, man, does bring me back. What is it, 2004 right now?
I need some combos and hot fries.
Oh, dude, it does smell great. Wow.
Taste test.
It tastes like sugary nostalgia. That's for sure.
Ready to play Contra and KOTOR and
Yes. Go on the golf course for a little bit. To tell you the truth, it's not as like high potency as I was expecting. I was honestly expecting to take a sip and like skyrocket to the moon. It's not that bad.
it's a slow ride. Maybe.
But
you'll
I know I can't drink the whole can, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted a little sip or two. So that's it. I had to get that out of the way, you know? No beer reviews. I'm doing monster
nice.
reviews.
I'll take it.
All right.
I'll take it. So
Is there a theme behind your background, your wallpaper right
yes, actually, and the weird thing is, I think I've used this background. So it's Inspector Gadget, the cartoon Inspector Gadget.
now? Not the Michael Broderick flick? Did you ever see that?
I don't hope so. Not. Oh God. I've been very nostalgic recently. As I was telling Fucko before we hit the record button, and oddly, it is not 90s nostalgia, which rarely happens. I know Kamangas and I were both born in the 80s, but it was the tail end. So we got the leftover 80s stuff.
Yeah.
The obvious ones, Darkwing Duck. They were obsessed with ducks and chipmunks back then. Jesus, everything was a Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Sure. Yep. Well, that was probably 50s, but we'll throw that into the 80s too. But
Wait, was it really?
yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Dude.
That was probably early 60s.
You probably have the same issue that I do. Is like a lot of things that were on Boomerang, I saw them as a kid, and I just associate them with the 90s, even if they actually weren't.
Yeah.
I
Like
remember watching that.
Scooby-Doo's was probably, early 70s.
That's true. Good call.
Yeah. But I think what sparked it was
Say spark on the podcast, please.
I think what initiated the instinct of retaliation was I put on Pee-wee's Big Adventure the other day, which that's a deep dive and a deep cut for me.
Okay.
I mean, it might make sense for you guys, but I watched a lot of Pee-wee when I was a kid. That might say a lot of things and answer a lot of questions, but for whatever reason, that movie was so weird to me that it interested me.
Mm-hmm.
It was so odd. You know, the characters were so over the top. It was a I almost called it a fucking Michael Bolton film. It was a whatchamacallem, Tim Burton film.
Michael Bolton's a singer, right?
I know. I hope that's all he is.
I want him to write
Tim
a
Burton.
concept album of Pee Wee Herman now.
Yes.
That you said that. Let's get in touch. Let's have our agent get in touch.
But
Yeah, I know what you mean, Tim Burton film.
Yeah, Tim Burton film, which already he's gonna make it weird, and then adding Pee Wee and the whole '80s realm.
Yep.
It just threw me down a rabbit hole that I didn't climb out of it yet. I'm wearing my TMNT. I got a Ralph TMNT shirt. I got Inspector and the Gadget behind me. So I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what? Sunday morning cartoons. I'm fucking doing it. And I threw on some Thundercats.
Okay.
That's dedication right there.
How much did you watch of Thundercats?
I think I watched 2 or 3 episodes. I started from the first season, beginning. Very beginning.
Okay.
My initial thing is I can see why this was popular back then. It was Japanese made, but American. So the animation was Japanese, but the storyline, the voiceovers and everything, the production was American. But you have that sprinkle of like it's almost anime-esque. The action, it looks so good.
Yeah.
And then you realize like what they're actually doing, and you're like, whoa, this is. The writing is lazy and American. Meanwhile, the action and the animation is like, oh shit, some of this is really cool. Like even the theme. You watch the intro to the show and it's like, oh shit, this actually looks really fun.
Looks like Voltron or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those that I was just like, man, it's obvious that this was big in the 80s because, you know, people were flipping tits for Star Wars at the same time, and that looked just as bad, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think we somehow we got onto a rabbit hole of like He-Man and stuff like that a couple episodes ago, and I was saying how I've never really watched Thundercats. I know who they are, but I've never really watched it. So
yeah,
I have to try a couple episodes.
It's there's obvious reasons why it was big back then, but going back and watching something like that there's gonna be a huge disconnect.
Yeah.
For example. It's so close to Star Wars in so many ways. There's a planet being blown up, Thundera, so this family's like escaping, and they end up on Earth, which is kind of fun. I didn't realize it took place on Earth. So that shows you how deep I knew of Thundercats as a kid. I had no fucking idea.
Yeah.
The technology was the biggest thing that jumped out to me.
Okay.
The span of technology. Picture this. They're flying in spaceships, shooting lasers at each other, but when the bad guys get in front of the good guys, they're using clubs and balls with spikes and chains and...
Yeah, it's melee.
It's melee only, but they're shooting lasers from spaceships in the very first episode.
If you asked me if spaceships were in Thundercats, I would have said no.
Yes. Yes. That's the first. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's very like Star Wars. Like I almost call him a spaceman. Jesus, Superman. I've lost my mind today.
Space Boy.
Spaceland. Somewhere in between Star Wars and Superman, where the planet blows up and he's like got to lead the Thundercats as a kid.
Okay.
And to save it, but. Yeah, I didn't realize the very first episode they like crash land on Earth. He learns like the sword, how it's alive. That's a whole thing where the sword kind of is a person itself, individual.
It's a character.
Kind of.
The weapon is a character.
Yeah. But that's enough of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it was fun. I'll throw that out there. Some of it was hard to watch, but anything from the 80s is going to be hard to watch. You just gotta buckle up and accept it. So
yeah, you're gonna have some of that.
Well, because, not even the spaceships, but they have, like, Panthera has, like, a Land Rover that is in the intro. So he busts out of, like, the ground in this, like, mechanical Batmobile thing.
Nice.
And then they're hitting and punching each other with clubs, and you're like, dude, where... Let's refocus our efforts on technology here, though.
Yeah. Weapons only go on vehicles, I guess.
Yeah. Fucko
In
said
that realm.
it's third Earth, not Earth. So I guess there's another water planet near Pluto.
Is Middle Earth second Earth? Or zero Earth? Or half Earth? Where does Lord of the Rings segue into this? I have to know. We talked about the reboot, remaster, revival, whatever you want to call it, of Masters of the Universe that was coming to Netflix. That's actually out now. And I never watched that back in the day either, but we kind of scrolled through the all-star voice acting cast.
Yeah.
Especially with Mark Hamill as Skeletor, I feel like I really want to watch that.
Yeah,
So I'm going to have to pull that up when I get back. Open up the Netflix and watch some He-Man, dude.
Yeah, it's just a whole different time. I felt like the 80s was the whore bag of cartoons where they were just throwing stuff at the wall. They didn't give a fuck whether it was good or not. Let's just put ducks in it, and
That's
then
such
we'll try
a
it
foul
again.
review of 80s animation.
They just hoard it all out. They
Yeah.
hoard it all out. It was the craziest time where they were willing to try anything, which is fun. But
Yeah.
that just means, look at the games back then. The video games. There's 1 billion NES games. Only about 12 of them are worth playing.
That's true. That's the era of E.T., the renowned worst video game of all time.
Exactly. But there are some gems out there. So, yeah.
Well, it was also so new.
Yeah.
Video games they were brand new then, so like everyone was trying everything.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, from the 80s cartoons where they were just throwing everything at the wall, and then it got really more focused and refined in the 90s when we talk about, like, Nickelodeon.
Yep.
Nickelodeon started hitting this chord with, like, Rugrats, and not even just that, but, like, Salute Your Shorts. They started finding this vibe that really worked, and then they kind of pumped out 20 great things in a row, where in the 80s everything was just like, fuck it, Scooby-Doo and Batman, do it again.
Well, from how you described Thundercats and what I know about Power Rangers, it sounds like they're just like taking stuff off the shelf from Japan and just redubbing over it and throwing it on TV.
Yeah, and I'm sure my ignorance is playing a bit into this, where I just don't know other decently well-known early 80s, anime-esque stuff. Obviously, Transformers and Gundam is sitting around back there somewhere. But where it really started for me personally, I was real big on the Smurfs when I was like toddler.
Mm-hmm.
Scooby-Doo was big.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I finally found something and I really vibed with it, it was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was the thing that kind of launched me into nerddom as a kid. And then I just never left that vein. I just went deeper and deeper in offshoots, and then you find Power Rangers, and then Pokemon, and Star Wars, and the realms get bigger and bigger.
It expands, yeah. You know how they say your memory doesn't really kick in until you're like 2.5 or 3 or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't remember any part of my life before the Ninja Turtles. It's like I'm born and there's pizza and Ninja Turtles, and my life starts from there, and it evolves forward 30 years.
I mean, maybe that's why you and I got along, because I only knew I was into Smurfs because my parents told me I was into Smurfs. I don't particularly remember Smurf
They remind
time.
you afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, just like the same thing with like Winnie the Pooh. That was the other like very early on as a baby that I loved, but I don't particularly remember a lot of that. But yeah. TMNT was like, I remember this. I remember fighting DNR as the Turtles, beating up each other, friends down the street. Mm-hmm. I remember getting the toys. I remember like learning the storyline of what happens. I remember playing the games. It was just the whole shebang was right there. It was a great time for Turtles.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And a great time for toys in general. The 90s was the toy whore bag, where the 80s was the cartoon whore bag.
Yeah, toys took a leap, I feel. I don't know when it happened because if you go back before our time and look at like the original run of Star Wars toys, it's just
bad.
a clay blob with a different outfit.
Yeah.
None of them look good.
Yeah.
And at some point, you got to the place where, they could make actual Transformers.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a mind-blowing thing to have an action figure that actually transformed.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
It's
And the
amazing.
engineering behind all those Transformers, it's ridiculous.
Dude, craziness. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I just quickly wanted to see if they were going to make any more of those Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movies.
I didn't even mind the first one. It takes a bit to get over their gargantuan bodies.
They are mutants.
I see, but it's weird that they went to that length because they skipped the teenage part of it. It feels even though they sound and act like teenagers, they look like 30-year-old men turtles. They look like they look like The Rock, whereas even in the cartoon. They look shorter and they
are
look
pretty
teenage.
jacked.
Yeah.
They are pretty jacked in this. Yeah, dude. Hang on. I gotta pull this up real quick.
I'm holding on.
Everyone, just hold onto your butts. Yeah, they look pissed. They're about to kill things.
Yeah, that's where they did miss me with man. They seriously look late 20s. Like that's the youngest I can put these fuckers. Is that weird that I'm trying to put an age to a turtle monster?
Not at all. That's the most important thing we've talked about this week.
I mean, obviously they're trying to make Mikey look younger in that pose, but he's just the goofy 27-year-old.
Yeah, I mean they're all
amongst the young 30s.
They're all going through middle life crises. Yeah, it's something about I think it's something about the mouth. Because, I don't even mind Leo right here. He looks cool. He looks pissed. But then Mikey's smiling, and you can see their teeth, and that just makes it a little weird. I don't know why. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, I can't really put my finger on it either why it looks goofy to me. But, yeah, I agree. Leo looks good in that picture.
Yeah, he's about to kick shit. I like it.
But Mikey does look a little weird. I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. I don't remember anything from either of those movies.
I only saw the first one. I do remember almost tearing up right at the end because they all thought they were going to die and they were basically saying goodbye to each other. And I was like, "Fuck."
Yes, I do remember that.
And then I never gave a shit after that.
Yeah, I don't remember the plot. And then the second one, I totally spaced out. I think that whole time. But I was just gonna see. There's nothing slated, so I don't know if they're gonna. I think the second one didn't do well, so they're probably not making any more of those.
I hope not. I mean, Transformers didn't do well, and they kept fucking bumping those out.
So this is kind of a segue into Suicide Squad, but not really. But, what's the limit of remaking things? How often is that acceptable before it becomes annoying? Because obviously, they make Ninja Turtles, and they're just us who grew up back in the day and we're kids. They watched it. We loved it. We're going to go see Ninja Turtles, and, our generation will bring our kids to watch Ninja Turtles now.
Sure.
How many times is this cycle going to repeat itself before we start making new things?
I mean, Star Wars has done it 3 times.
Yep. That's true.
Batman's done it 5 times. No one gives a shit.
That's true. If it's done well, I don't think anyone does really give a shit.
I think when you have about 20 years pass, you can focus in on the next generation. And there's been 20 years of current events or recent history that you can pull upon that to make the new storyline a little more relatable to the younger generation. So I would say arguably every 20 years, if it's a hard reset. I mean, we saw it with Star Wars. 20 years, boom, we'll do another reset. I mean, not from 6 to 1, but, from 77 to 99. We're pretty fucking close right there.
Yeah.
But Batman said, fuck it, we're doing it every 5.5 years, and we're just going to keep pumping out Batmans. So,
well, I feel like comics, anything that's rooted in comics kind of has not a free pass, so to speak, but they're already used to redoing that. I mean, Batman's been around for almost 100 years now, so, they've run out of storylines and they've gone back and they started from the origins and retold it all maybe in a different way, or this version's darker or whatever. So comic book movies, I feel like it's a little more natural, but I don't know. I was just thinking that they're remaking He-Man.
I mean, it depends on what you consider a remake. I mean, you look at something like 007.
True.
And there's like 24 fucking movies, and they're not obviously new storylines, but it is the same dude from a certain point of view.
Yeah, that's true. Each Bond has like their own little mini storyline over the course of like 4 or 5 movies.
And that's almost the template that you have to use. Like, they're doing the same similar thing with Batman. It's being played by everybody and their friend, but the storyline's a little tweaked, a little different. The enemies are a little tweaked, a little different. The time, are there other heroes involved? And all that stuff makes a big difference, so.
Yeah, and the movies become different depending on what era they're made in. Obviously, The Dark Knight had such a different tone than like the Michael Keaton Batman.
Well, tone and technology.
Right, it became way more tech heavy.
Yeah,
or I shouldn't say that. I should say it became way more military.
Tech savvy, yeah. Yeah. Batman could use a cell phone.
Yes.
Alfred. Romeos.
Batman owns AT&T essentially.
Do you think you can rename Alexa Alfred, and so I can just ask Alfred for everything?
I know they did that with the Waze app. They had like actors record for like the voice AI. I really wish. I know you can change like the language on Siri, but I really wish I could pick like Michael Keaton Batman to be my Siri on my phone, and I could say like, "Hey Batman, remind me to get groceries."
Alfred, pasta recipe right now.
Yeah, I guess Alfred makes more sense. Batman would not be doing reminders for you. Yeah, Alfred, get me a recipe for scrambled eggs, please.
A recipe for eggs.
Eggs and heat, and that's it.
Mix it.
The reason I brought that up was because I was going to say I think I enjoyed The Suicide Squad, which we'll talk about, the new one, James Gunn. But that movie only exists because there's been shitty comic book movies in the past. You know what I mean? Like, the whole thing is like, yeah, some comic book movies are silly and all these characters are so old and outdated and they have crazy costumes and their powers are stupid and we're just this is all going to be a kind of a joke on itself. And it gets heartfelt, but it works because it's like making fun of itself. You know what I mean? That movie only exists when there's already been bad comic book movies or like bad comics in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference that I see is Marvel makes fun of itself along the way. In little conversation-esque stuff, you see it in, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Just along the way.
They make fun of Thor and like his cape.
Yeah, along the way. DC did it the other way where they just stacked up a bunch of dog shit and then they launched a good movie based on the dog shit.
Right.
Which, I agree. I thought it was really, really good. Because it didn't take itself too seriously. I think James Gunn helped out a shit ton in just making it a fluid movie.
Yeah.
Because anymore, I just want a DC movie to feel like a movie instead of...
I want it to feel like one project.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed it, and I had some laugh out loud moments. I was like, of course they fucking did that. That's awesome. That's what I wanted, and not what I needed, but it's what I got. So
yep.
Yeah. So I mean, heavy spoilers going forward. I mean, the movie could be absolutely spoiled for you, and you could still enjoy it. I think it lives upon its own ridiculousness. So
yeah, I think so. It's not like Marvel where, if you get spoiled for Endgame or for Infinity War, it doesn't ruin the movie, but it kind of ruins the movie. I feel like the recent DC movies, they haven't really been following that same kind of recipe, so to speak. So it feels pretty self-contained.
Yeah, it was a little simpler. I mean, I don't even know how to explain the movie. It's one of the most ridiculous things I've ever watched, and that's why I loved it.
Yeah.
That's how I'll say it. Whether it's the characters or what they're doing or the enemy or the banter between everything's ridiculous.
Yep.
There's a polka dot guy. Like, who gives a fuck? We're doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. So they picked. I don't know much about DC, but that seems to me like the most absurd villain in the history of comic books.
they were fighting a Staryu,
Yes.
a mind-controlling Staryu from space.
Yeah.
Pokemon.
The more mind it controls, the more telekinesis it does. It gets bigger and bigger.
Dude, I
So
got
ridiculous.
full on end of Ghostbusters vibes
Oh yeah, yeah.
at the end of that movie. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? What movie am I watching right now? This is great.
It's a starfish Godzilla, basically.
It's a Starfish Godzilla.
That's what it was like. The guy even says that. He's like, this is a fucking kaiju right now. And he's just thrashing around the city, knocking everything over. Yeah. It's weird that they built up to that, and I was like I wasn't totally taken aback when the starfish broke out of the fort and started attacking the city. It's not like I was like, I have to turn this off, it's bad. It was like, they got me ready for it, and I accepted it. I was like, yeah, it's an alien starfish. What do you want?
What do you want? This
It's
is
comic
obviously
books.
it's obviously an issue. Look at him fucking everything up.
Right. Why is Superman okay? Just because he looks like a dude? I mean, come on.
No, I completely
He's
agree.
also an alien.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. So I feel like they didn't really reference the old one. I feel like they had characters return.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that I can't
Rick
remember
Flag, Harley Quinn.
Yep.
We had some, and then Amanda Waller.
Thank you. Yeah. That's running the prison and running like the Suicide Squad program.
So those were the three staples, and then everybody else was basically new, outside of Boomerang, which they killed off pretty fucking quickly. So
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you think about that? It opens up and they get you prepped, and they're like doing introduce the whole squad and everything, and they get to the first mission and they all die.
well, you know what? I thought of the original one. Well, the one that just came out recently, 2016. They made such a big deal in introductions of everybody that I thought, oh yeah, they're gonna introduce some people, and then they just murdered them all because it's just like no one gives a fuck.
Yeah, I feel like that was like a sly James Gunn kind of like cleansing your palate from the old Suicide Squad.
Yes.
Yeah, because there was way more ridiculous people in that first little scene, I feel, than when you get to like the actual squad. Well, they're all ridiculous too. I don't even know what I'm saying.
They are all
I don't know what
ridiculous,
I'm
but
saying.
you had Weasel, you had Javelin, you had Pete Davidson, and TDK, which no one knew what the fuck he was. So,
Oh yeah, they say it though. His arms come off.
oh yeah, the detachable kid or something.
What the fuck? He looked
Yeah.
like an action figure. He just pulled his arms off and he just
His
stood there
power-
and his arms were just flying at people and punching them in the air.
There's no reason for that power.
It's ridiculous.
That doesn't help you.
Oh man. Yeah, it did much of nothing.
But no, I think it stayed in its lane so well. Idris Elba is a great main character and
He's
actor.
amazing, dude. I love him. Yeah.
So you just follow him, and then everything else kind of falls into place. You know, Margot Robbie is Harley Quinn, classically, and John Cena played a great role. You know, he played kind of himself, but it worked.
Almost like a, it's almost like a caricature of Captain America, kind of.
Yeah.
You know, it's like peace by any means necessary.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
I agree. It was really fun. Day and night difference between 2016 and 2021.
Yeah, I was watching a couple videos afterwards, like just kind of reviews of the new one and also kind of looking back at the original. And it's just a shame how much it got, ripped apart and put back together and reshot and rescripted, and it's a bummer, man. I think the era of recutting movies might be over after Snyder Cut, but I wouldn't turn down the opportunity to watch a David Ayer original cut of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I guess my question would be, what was the biggest letdown of that is they made such a focus on Harley Quinn and Joker in the trailers and stuff, and then it was 0.02% of the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the movie that they did do was like, I don't even know what's happening anymore.
Yeah.
Some dead girl's pharaoh brother is turning blocks over in a subway, and you're like, we gotta get him.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. In a bad way. Ridiculous in a bad way.
I agree. Now this one was
they were
ridiculous
trying
in a
to
good way.
They were trying to be serious.
Yes,
and then you
that
get
was
to the
it.
end of the movie, and a molten Aztec god pops out of like the subway and starts blowing things up. This one, a starfish breaks out of a fort and attacks the city. Well, it's way more reasonable.
Yeah, Harley Quinn swims around in his eye for about
Dude,
4.5
yeah,
minutes.
I was like, what? Yeah, stabs him, and it's just a little swimming pool.
Makes sense, I guess.
It's fun. They roll out like they start hard ridiculousness, and then they gradually roll out, a little bit of political themes in the background.
Yeah.
You got that father-daughter dynamic with Idris Elba and the rat girl Cleo. I can't remember her name. Yeah, there was some deeper moments at the end. But
well,
then,
yeah, political to say the least. I mean, obviously they had hard ties with like the U.S. being on the bad side and controlling everything. Kind of playing both sides. For their own benefit. So.
Yeah, and then the bad guys become the good guys at the end.
Oh yeah.
Classic.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous and I loved it. So that's all I'm gonna fucking say. I do plan on seeing it again. That's how good it was.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
It felt somewhere in between Deadpool and I don't know, Harley and like Birds of Prey. Like It was like those two movies just smashed together, and you're like, dude, this is kind of fun. Every other
And
word
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah,
And
every other word is fuck. It's
every
fun.
other word is fuck. Well, as I was watching that, even Mrs. Commander was like, "This reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy," and I was like, "Same director."
Same director. Yeah.
It makes me want to have Guardians Volume 3 be rated R. I don't know if Marvel would do that, but if they are going to roll in Deadpool to the universe, they're going to breach that territory of rated R superhero movies. But I would love to see James Gunn do like an R-rated Guardians of the Galaxy, because they get close in some of those. Some of their dialogue, they get pretty close. But it'd be funny just to hear Rocket cussing up a storm, and
Yeah.
it makes me want that.
I do. I hate when it feels like movies are holding back for a rating.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, Rocket is a character that would cuss in the real world, but
Yes.
he doesn't because he's in a movie. Yeah.
It doesn't feel like blatantly holding back, I don't think.
I mean, the attitude's there, so
Yeah.
he's fine. But I do think it would sprinkle a little extra if he was able to just be like, fuck Groot up his stupid wooden ass.
That's how they should lead off Volume 3, as far as I'm concerned. That's what they should start with, just so the parents can all take their kids out of the theater. Oh, God.
Yeah, fun movie. I'm glad they went to the whole length of creating that movie. It's kind of a roll of the dice to begin with. So
I think so. Yeah. I'm glad it exists. That's for sure. What is coming down the pipeline for
Spider-Man?
Well, I was gonna say first though for DC though.
Nice. Nothing.
I haven't heard. Well,
Batman.
I don't follow DC as much, but
Obviously, the Batman.
the Batman upcoming DC movies. Let's look at that. Because I made a list earlier today about things that are upcoming.
Look at that. March 4th, 2022. The Batman.
Dude, I know I sound like an old person right now, but time moves so quick. I feel like once upon a time we were like, man, the Batman, it's like 4 years away. And now, March feels like it's right around the corner.
Now, 3 years after the fact, it's only next year.
You know what I mean?
The
Batman. Oh, yeah, Black Adam.
Morbius.
Aquaman 2. Great.
Oh, great.
The Flash. Shazam 2. Interesting. Okay.
The Flash should be that one should be good. I mean, obviously, I'm balls deep into the Batman. It looks much more brutal and what I want.
Black Adam looks cool. I like The Rock. It'd be cool to see him as a superhero or villain. I don't know if Black Adam's a villain or a hero. I did never see Shazam. I never saw Shazam.
Murder.
So that's just on my movie list that I don't ever watch because I go and watch House of a Thousand Corpses again instead of watching new stuff.
Man, I was so close to watching House like last night.
I did watch it last night.
I clicked on it and I was like,
well,
we got.
Sorry.
You know what I was trying to do is find like a Rob Zombie trilogy. Because I'd like to see the newest one. I've heard bad things, but, fuck it. If they were going to give me 3 movies for, $15, $20, I was going to pull the trigger, but they didn't have that.
Oh, you haven't seen 3 from Hell?
No.
I forgot about that. And I never saw all of Lords of Salem. I always fell asleep during it. I never saw the last half.
That one was just so... That didn't have the payoff. I don't think it was a terrible movie, but Lords of Salem was a slow-moving movie that just didn't really have a payoff. It's fine. It's creepy. But, yeah.
Then, what was that one that was like a limited release in theaters? 31 or something?
31. That was skippable.
You watched it? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing was he spent like X amount of dollars on it, like a super low production, and it was obvious that it was super low.
Lower than House of a Thousand Corpses?
Yeah. I was like,
really?
I don't even know what the fuck's happening because the director's ass cheek is in the way of the... I can't see anything.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, and actually, speaking of, I was on like the IMDb for Rob Zombie. I never saw his second Halloween movie.
Oh, I didn't even realize he had a second one. I thought his first one was fine.
Yeah, it was really good. Maybe I just kicked off Halloween season a little early for myself last night.
Yeah, there you go.
I just need the fucking weather to chill out. It's been 95 degrees. Anyways.
Yeah. Yep. Man, isn't it crazy? It's 2021. It is 2021, right?
Yes.
And we're still talking about Batman.
No, I love it.
It's a ridiculous thing because as much as like the Turtles were influential, it went Turtles Batman, and now 30 years later, it's like, guys, guess what? Batman next year. Whoa!
Do you think that? Well, obviously, Batman has a longer legacy than the Turtles.
Yeah.
But I do wonder why things like that are kind of beloved for a generation don't carry on. I mean, obviously, we just talked about like the Michael Bay Turtles movies, but they weren't that good, and doesn't look like there's going to be any more. I just wonder why the Turtles aren't as popular as they used to be.
Do they not translate anymore? I mean, you got to think they were made in the 80s, and they were so hardcore tied to like 80s New York that maybe that vibe of 80s New York just simply doesn't exist anymore. It's a whole different vibe.
It doesn't, yeah. Too many
hipsters.
So
maybe it just doesn't translate to the young pups.
Yeah, I feel like the Turtles living in a sewer in modern day New York, that wouldn't be a thing. They'd have to live in like a rundown coffee shop or something.
But you know what? Why
like
the
an
fuck
old
not?
brewery.
They literally could be like baristas on the side.
I'm just imagining them with like a Starbucks apron over.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. No one would notice. I mean,
Teenage Mutant Ninja baristas.
I don't know if they can get the espresso out with just 3 fingers, though. Probably. They can handle like all of their goddamn weaponry. I'm sure they can brew a good espresso.
But that's a ridiculous turn that it would have to take. I think for them to really strike a chord with today's kids.
Yeah.
I mean, think of how many. Go ahead.
Totally lying. I could be totally lying. Hang on a second. Are there still like cartoons of Ninja Turtles?
Yeah, they've remade TMNT constantly.
Which
is a valid point because we're so behind on stuff like that with cartoons, modern cartoons, animation. I'm sure they've been blowing through them every day.
Interesting. Yeah. So there was the original TV series from '87, and then there was another one in '97 had a video game along with it.
Okay.
And then there is a series from 2012 as well. It's just called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They just keep recycling it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's on Nickelodeon. Maybe we should watch this shit.
Maybe.
No, probably not. All right, so I half lied. I feel like it's not maybe as big in the zeitgeist, but it is still happening. Hasn't died altogether, so that's cool.
I mean, the weird thing is, at this point, they've remade everything. I mean, we talk about, like, you just asked why they don't, and I'm thinking about it now. There's new Scooby-Doos. They've made a goddamn Smurf movie that's fucking CG. They've done it all. Even classic Disney stuff is being remade. You look at 101 Dalmatians from, like, the 50s. It's all been remade. It's all within the past, like, 10, 15 years.
Yeah. I wonder. Yeah, that's what why I brought that up in the first place. I was wondering why it's all happening right now.
Maybe it's easier because
like, because obviously,
special
like
effects have gotten so good that they can do whatever the fuck they want now.
Yeah. And well, like the cynical point of view is like, oh, the studios just want to rake in money and they don't have any good ideas, so they're just going to remake everything. Well, yeah, I guess on one hand maybe, but if it's done well, I feel like we're all happy if it's done well. If I get to see like a new version of 101 Dalmatians, like if it's good,
no,
then
I
I'm here for
completely
it.
agree. Rework it, freshen it up, but tweak the story. Bring the old fans in and start some new fans. That's exactly what Star Wars has been trying to do since '99.
Well, that's exactly what Marvel did do. They restarted the entire storyline.
But Marvel didn't already exist majorly in movie form already. It's not
really.
like they remade Iron Man.
Well, they kind of remade some of the storyline. You know, they took threads from popular comics, but then they
From
kind of
comics.
adjusted it. Yeah.
We're talking TMNT
Oh, I was just
movie.
talking
Let's
about remake
TMN.
everything.
Now when we've gotten to the point when I say, "Hey, did you see that TMNT movie?" We have to ask which one 3 times.
Yeah.
Like which one? Are you talking about the 80s or 90s or which
1990,
or the new
original
ones?
Yeah, I got a thing at Pizza Hut and I watched it. It was great. Might do that tonight. It sounds amazing.
So, no, I think I think it's worth it. Just fucking make it better. Especially, just don't be that hardhead like most Star Wars fans where Episode 4 can't be fixed. It's fucking perfect. So
That's what all Star Wars fans sound like.
I just,
It's the truth.
I can't get the lisp quite right, but
Cry right. I can't do it.
I'm oh god, I almost got lost in it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Like 7 being the cynical point of view is 7 is just like 4 because they didn't have any ideas, so they just copied 4. But it's a girl now.
Mm-hmm.
The other flip side of that is like it's new material and it's also an homage to the original.
Yeah,
It's paying tribute to the original while taking a new spin.
I really like Episode 7. I think
Yeah.
it's one of the most fluid of the. I think it is the most fluid out of 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
obvious reasons. But I think the callback or the paying tribute to was way too obvious, way too upfront.
Mm-hmm.
I do think they could have done that, along the way, sprinkled a trail of callbacks, shout-outs, paying tribute. They didn't have to do giant death ball. They didn't have to do the rest of the whole movie.
This podcast sponsored by Liquid Death, Mountain Water, carbonated one. Makes
Carbonated.
you burp on the mic. Get some now at your local Whole Foods.
I drank their still water for the first time.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It's so weird to me.
Is it?
It tastes fine. It's something in my mind. Drinking non-carbonated water out of a can fucks with
It is
me
a mental
way,
thing.
Yeah, it fucks
Yeah.
me way too much.
So I get it sometimes, and I'll just use that. Like if I'm traveling and I want to make coffee or something, I'm obviously not going to bring my Brita filter with me. So sometimes I'll just get a few cans of that still stuff to make coffee or whatever.
Sure.
But that's the only time I get it. I don't drink it like recreationally.
No, it was very weird to me. Like I said, nothing wrong with the taste. It was like my mind expects more out of this can, and it's literally just water, and there's no nothing.
Yep.
Oh man.
Also, it looks like Miller Lite, so if you walk around with it, people are like, they're just like, nah, dude, it's just water. It's like fine.
It's similar to Fine, bro.
It's aight.
Yep.
Okay. One thing that I was going to bring up the past 2 or 3 weeks that we just we were complaining so much about Star Wars that we didn't get to it. There's 2 new things coming out from our teenage memories. So the first one is I don't know if you're going to like it or not because we feel iffy about this director, but Clerks 3 is in production.
Next topic.
I'm half and half because Clerks 1 is a classic, and I think it's fine. It's not my favorite. I don't like, some people get really, really horny about Kevin Smith movies.
They're going to overthink it.
I think it's fine.
I think they're going to overthink it.
Like Jay and Silent Bob.
Yep.
And obviously we love Clerks 2. It's fucking amazing. They really hit it with that one.
Surprisingly, I for me think Clerks 2 is better than the first one. I didn't.
Oh yeah, I agree.
The first one didn't click with me quite as much. I just needed something a little dumber and in my face, and Clerks 2 did it for me.
Yes. So 3, I'll see it, or I'll start it like I did with Jay and Silent Bob.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how it's gonna go, and the reason I'm iffy about it is just because of this production photo. I'm just like, I mean, it's cool that they're doing it, but these guys are all really old. So if they lean into that and make fun of it the whole time, like, I don't know, maybe.
Which I think is the only route to go.
Right. Like, why did you guys still work at the convenience store?
Right. At this, well, they reopened the convenience store because in the last one, what's-his-face broke up with his fiance and is now dating Rosario Dawson. So I assume they're going to still be in a relationship. Douchebag is still going to be a douchebag. And then, is that Linus or Linus?
Yeah, Elias.
Elias, thank you.
Yeah.
So, I think the only route is to make fun of themselves. So he looks like a just lost child.
It's crazy because in Clerks 2, he was probably like 30 years old, but he looked like he was 18.
Yeah.
He was or maybe it was the way that he played the character. He was so young, and now he looks like he's 50. Yeah. So Clerks 3 is happening.
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to watch it. I have a bad feeling about this. It's been a while. It's been a while since Kevin Spacey or whatever the fuck his name is put out a good.
You can't say that one anymore. You're not allowed to say that one.
Oh yeah, we'll get shut down. Oh man.
Sorry, YouTube. Pay tribute to YouTube. Keep our show up,
please.
Dude, look who's in the chat right now. Lord fucking Kerner.
Someone murdered Kerner and took over his.
Dude,
username.
I haven't heard from you. I texted you, and you just totally ignored me, man. You totally ignored me. We're not friends anymore, but welcome to the chat. Thank you.
I send out random texts to Kerner, and I just expect him to like look at it midway through the day and laugh. Like I just texted him the number 62.
So he laughs out loud and then doesn't feel like he has to respond to you.
And I don't say anything else. It'll just be 62.
62. Yeah, dude.
Meow.
Yeah, so that looks crazy. And then the other one, but Jay and Silent Bob is like teenage years for us.
Yes.
And then the other one was Jackass.
Yep.
Jackass
There's
forever.
a sad story behind all that, but I'm on board with that. That's not going to be, it's going to stay Jackass. I don't have a doubt in my mind. It may be a little more produced, but it's still going to be stupid
I don't know.
shit.
They've all been good, dude.
Yeah, I know. I agree.
You always go in thinking like, how can if it doesn't have the indie feel of the original, how can it be good? And it's overproduced, but in a good way. And I think they've progressively gotten better.
The only thing I would disagree on is like the Bad Grandpa stuff with only Johnny Knoxville. That stuff's way overproduced and it feels fake. Even though I know it's not, there's a whole setup. You can see like half the people in the shot are actors, half of them are not, and you're like,
yeah,
it's a bit of a stretch. But I think in the Jackass alone stuff,
yes.
I think it'll work fine. Obviously, Bam is not in this at all.
Oh, he's not?
No, so there's been huge pushback because they basically kicked Bam out of the movie.
Is that what you were going to say? Is the sad story behind it?
Yes, because Bam's in his own fucking world with his drugs and shit, and they basically told him, you need to stay clean to be a part of this. And he couldn't. So they kicked him off and out of the show, and obviously that is going to leave a big hole in the Jackass crew.
I think so.
I mean, without Ryan Dunn and without Bam, you're like, dude, that's 50% of it.
I searched that up, and the first thing is from Rolling Stone. It says Bam Margera sues Jackass team over wrongful termination.
Yep.
Man, that sucks.
I just think it's something where they said you need to come to work clean and sober. Because even like Steve-O has been, 8 years clean now. Like, there's other people and other members that are on set that are trying to do the best for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
And when Bam shows up all fucked up, they're like, dude, you can't do this. And then he, of course, in his altered state, he's like, fuck you guys, I am Jackass and blah, 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 blah. I think that's how he talks now. But
that sounds like Bam.
It sucks.
I've seen a lot of Bam.
It sucks, but...
That sucks. Yeah, it says that everyone had a wellness agreement. And everyone's contract in Jackass Forever was contingent upon them adhering to that. Well, I guess not everybody, but he had a wellness agreement part of the contract that he had to be clean, take daily drug tests,
and he couldn't. So fuck him.
Damn.
It sucks, but they're trying to help you out, man. And
that's one of those situations where, yeah, man, it's just not good either way.
So,
bummer, dude.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big downfall. Obviously, with Ryan Dunn out of the picture, with his passing, and now with Bam, and then we don't have like those fun, quirky guys like DiCamillo. I mean, for you and me, there's a large faction missing out of what is Jackass now. So
true. I think they'll still be able to do a lot with it, but I agree.
I mean, I'll watch Chris Pontius do whatever.
Dude, he's always one of my favorites.
Yes,
he's so funny. He is the jolliest guy on the planet.
Yes,
he's happy. All those scenes in Wild Boys with him, like alligators clamped onto his balls, and he's just like laughing about it.
Yes. Like this scene is going to be this horse kicking you in the nuts, and it just goes, and then he gets kicked in the nuts. You're like, dude, what the fuck is happening?
So happy. Oh my god. So Steve from Revenge of the '90s wants to have us on to do CKY. The original CKY was '99. So that'll be a fun lead into Jackass Forever. I haven't watched the first one in a while. I might go back when I want to go back and watch them. Is always 2 and 4 for some reason. I always just gravitate towards those. So I haven't seen the first one in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to rewatch the Jackass 1, 2, and 3D leading up to this one. This is October 22nd. This is coming out.
Nice.
So,
something to look forward to. Something different.
Yeah.
We've been so balls deep into the nerd stuff that this stuff, CKY and the Jackass, has played a large role in our teenage years, particularly. So it's cool to see them continue on with that stuff.
Oh, 1,000,000%. Dude, there's actually a lot of stuff coming up. I feel like there hasn't been so much just because of COVID and quarantine and stuff, but they are really making up for it at the end of the year. So let me run through this really quick.
Yeah, go.
So we got Shang-Chi coming up next week. And then here's all the things that are going to be coming out before the end of the year. The Matrix 4, Spider-Man, Ghostbusters, that Ghostbusters remake that never came out. This isn't a movie, but Skyrim Anniversary, 10th Anniversary. Marvel Eternals, Dune, Jackass Forever, Venom 2, No Time to Die, James Bond, and Foundation, which is that Isaac Asimov show coming to Apple TV, which Cameron just shared in the chat earlier today. That's a lot of shit in the last 3 months of the year. 3 or 4 months of the year.
Yeah, and not to mention, Book of Boba Fett's supposed to be sprinkled in there somewhere.
That's interesting. I looked up like the most anticipated things coming out before the end of the year, and that was not listed in it. Oh, Star Wars! Star Wars! What are you doing?
Yeah.
I'll add that to the list.
Add it. I had to do a quick Google search, so I came across this short clip of Stan Lee. Someone had asked him what his favorite DC character was, and I was like, ooh.
That's a cool question.
Ooh. And And, of course, he threw out a character that I had never heard of, so I had to
Classic.
look it up. But he said Lobo. And I thought, oh, my God, is this a joke? Is Lobo a goofball? And I looked it up, and he's pretty much the most badass character ever created. He's a bounty hunter Superman, basically, long and short of it. The guy looks savage as fuck. Literally, superhuman strength, speed, sense. Like, he is a bounty hunter Superman.
Damn, dude.
I'm for it.
He actually looks like a character from Final Fantasy IX.
He looks like
That's hilarious.
He looks like Spawn's dad.
That too. Spawn is technically DC, isn't it? Or is it Dark
I
Horse?
think so. I think it is DC, actually, now that we say that.
I think it's one of those fringe ones where they're like, yeah, you can be as rated R as you feel like. We don't care. Spawn and Blade. Huh. Cool. Yeah, I'd never heard of him before. Interesting.
Oh, it looks like there was a DC versus Marvel crossover series, and he fought Wolverine and lost due to popular votes by the fans. That's dumb because everybody's heard of Wolverine.
He lost. Wait, they put the challenge up to a fan vote?
I guess.
Shouldn't Superman win everything?
Let me look this up. Wolverine versus Lobo. Lobo, by the way. I don't know if I have to explain that to any of you guys. You guys might be familiar with it already. Dude, I'm looking at some pictures.
If anyone doesn't have their GED, this is how you spell this 4-letter, whatever.
I'm looking at pictures, and this should be a fucking laughable thing. Lobo should tear Wolverine in half several times. There should be eighths of Wolverine laying around.
Yeah, but Wolverine, he's got that skeleton, man. You can't break through it.
He's not. Yeah, but he's an alien. Lobo's an alien.
Not all aliens are strong.
It's that superhuman strength. He's basically Superman. If Superman fought Wolverine, Wolverine would be bits of dust. Okay?
Adamantium dust.
I love Wolverine, but fuck him.
Does Wolverine have superhuman strength? That just sounds like a dumb question, but I don't think that's one of his powers.
I don't think so. It's all
just really
healing
jacked.
and yeah, healing and indestructibility.
Indestructibility. Oh man. The only other Marvel thing before we do talk about Spider-Man that I saw a trailer for is there's a new video game coming out.
Uh-oh. Skyrim 5.
No, a new Marvel video game, my friend.
Okay.
Marvel Future Revolution.
Oh. This is a mobile game?
No, that's not it. That's not the one that I saw. What? It was like Dark something or other. Marvel Midnight Suns, that's what it is.
Okay.
We'll have to keep our eye on this and talk about it.
Midnight Suns as in offspring.
S-U-N-S.
Yeah. No.
It
No.
says S. Yeah, it's S-U-N-S.
I have it both ways here. How weird.
Rumors.
It
man.
is S-U-N-S. Okay.
Rumors.
Confirmed. Rumors.
Looks cool. Supposed to be in March. Turn-based RPG.
Ooh, I like turn-based RPGs.
Way too excited about that. Whoa!
I mean, that's what KOTOR is.
Oh, yes. Comes out in March 22.
Attack, please. Click. All right, I'm attacking.
Oh, I see why you saw that. The arc from the comics is called Midnight Suns, S-O-N-S. But this game is called Midnight Suns with a U.
Playing on that duality meaning.
Oh. So,
Cool.
yeah, I don't know anything about this arc. I don't know who any of these characters are, except for the obvious ones like Wolverine and Iron Man and Blade. But there's a lot of cool stuff in here that I've never seen.
Wolverine, Iron Man, Blade. Yeah. Wolverine and Iron Man standing next to each other looks pretty fucking cool, to be honest.
I wonder... So, like, they had a Marvel's Avengers game come out recently. And it was like... It was the same team as in the MCU Avengers, but it was all pulled from the comics instead of from the movies. And I guess I wonder... it's not a bad thing. I just wonder why they don't like take the actual storylines and characters and like make Iron Man look like Robert Downey Jr. in the video game. They always go back to like a comic version of it instead. And I don't know why. Because I don't know anything about comics.
Yeah, I have no comment on that.
Why are you talking into Inspector Gadget's chin? What is this orientation that you've given yourself here?
I'm chillaxing, bro. It's Sunday. I don't give a fuck anymore.
I'm actually standing right now. My stand-up desk. I elevated it, so I'm standing up.
Yeah.
The gaming chair I have is like comfortable, but I can only sit in it for like 45 minutes at a time because it's like super hot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's not a long-term chair. I don't know if I need like a pad or something, but yeah, that ass sweat is like ridiculous. I don't like it.
Agreed.
What kind of mood are you in right now?
You know, I took a CBD the other day, and it actually kicked in pretty hard. I felt like such a bitch.
Those are nice, man. Nice and relaxing.
They are. I took a couple of them.
Did you take one before we started recording?
No, I did. Well, I took one today, but I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
I could have really went for a nap today. It was a good day for it. There was like threat of thunderstorms and shit, and I just never got to it. I was like, man, would have been nice just to.
What a day! I never got around to taking a nap.
I told you it all
Sounds
started
like
with
you had a relaxing
Thundercats,
weekend,
dude. Well, today was fine. Yeah, we ran around yesterday. So, and Jack's been good today. So I was like, man, if he's taking a nap, maybe I will. And I just
It never happened, guys.
Yeah, I didn't take a nap either. And I'm on the opposite of CBD right now. I took 3 sips of Monster, but then I did have this Bang energy drink. So we'll see if I can fall asleep before 5 a.m.
Oh, it'll wear off. You'll hit a wall.
Last thing before Spider-Man, I went to the comic book store. I was trying to get issues 3 and 4 of Kylo Ren because I had the first 2, but I never finished that. And you were talking about it, and it got me excited. They didn't have it, unfortunately, but I did pick up the first trade paperback of the High Republic comic.
Yep, read that one.
Oh, yeah?
It's dog shit.
I read the first issue. I think there's 6 in here, so I'm going to comb through it. It wasn't amazing, but I didn't hate it.
Was it the
Darth
one
Vader
that they
did
all
not team up with the Handmaiden, so it's off to a good start.
Was it the one that they all ended in throwing their laser swords up in the air and cheering "Hoorah, hoorah"?
Yeah, the girl got her Padawan certification, graduation. She's a Jedi Knight now.
And then a questionable character walked through the door and said, and then it ended.
Yeah, the one where Palpatine comes back. That's the one I read.
Palpatine. It's always been him.
It did end weird. The Trandoshan master walked through a door and was like, "No!" But you didn't see what it was.
Yeah.
So I was confused. But I'll keep going.
Okay.
So that was cool. And then I was trying to figure out. I sent this in the Patreon chat, but if anyone has a good website that keeps track of all the series of comics and what order they come out in and which ones there are, let me know, because I like to buy them physical, but the way that they're all numbered and ordered is very confusing because I'm such a newbie. Because there was 3 different series of the Bounty Hunter, War of the Bounty Hunters. Because I wanted to start that one. Yeah, but then there was a Dr. Aphra comic, but the cover was a War of the Bounty Hunters. And then there was War of the Bounty Hunters 1 through 16, and then there was War of the Bounty Hunters Jabba the Hutt 1 through 4 or whatever. So I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Maybe that's where the Kira series is actually going to live, is going to be under that title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it might be. So I got issue 1 of Forlom and Zuckuss, and I got issue 1 of Jabba the Hutt. I don't know if they're related. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to read them.
Well, I don't think they're related. Jabba's a Hutt, and Forlom's a Lam.
Zuckuss is... Well, Forlom's an android. Forlom's a droid.
Zuckuss, then. Which one is he?
They're best friends.
Squid-faced?
They're partners.
Oh, it's like Bill and Ted in space.
Yeah, but one of them's a droid.
With a robot Chubby.
69, dude.
69, dude.
All right. Anyways, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
So back when you heard rumors that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were going to be in the new Spider-Man, did you think it was BS? Or did you think it was going to actually happen?
I just assumed they would make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have to say about that. I mean, to be honest, from a business standpoint, from all the standpoints, Spider-Man fans want to see it. Old head fans want to see it. Well, if you want to throw us into old heads, because Tobey Maguire, that's some of the newest or the oldest Spider-Man shit for us.
Yes. A lot of people do say Spider-Man 2 is like best comic book movie ever made. Or they did until Avengers got rolling around. I don't know. I feel like Infinity War kind of takes that now. But that was, it's long renowned.
Yeah. No, I think it just made too much sense. And especially with Infinity Wars being over, all that shit's done. Where else can they go? Well, let's go back and do Spider-Man again properly, but also fresh, brand new. Like they're pressing a reset button in the universe, so it makes sense for us.
I don't know if that's what's happening.
They are literally, now that you have a multiverse, they have an unlimited amount of reset buttons. So now they can reset Spider-Man's story, and we get Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire.
I don't think they're resetting the story, though. I think they're splintering in different Spider-Man from different alternate universes. They're basically doing like Spider-Verse and making that live action, kind of.
Yeah, you don't think it's going back in time, from a sense?
I don't think it has anything. Well, I haven't seen Loki yet, so that might be a clue. I don't know if it's going to be any sort of time shifting. I think it's just like messing up the different realities.
Oh, so
like I don't think we're going to see Peter Parker get bit by a spider and like get his powers. You know what I mean?
Right. I was actually under the assumption that he was going back in time some, but no, that makes sense if just like two realities collided, and now he has to deal with Doc Ock and another Spider-Man.
And Green Goblin.
And Green Goblin again. So it's like, no, I think for the viewer, it's like a reset button. We get to see Doc Ock again. And we get to see those movies played out in a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
So it's just a collage or a, collaboration of stories. It's nice.
I think it's so cool that we get to see the new MCU and then all the Marvel stuff that was made before the MCU started that people still like but doesn't tie in. They get to tie it in. That's such a mindfuck. And the fact that they're going to make it work is so cool.
So you're saying pre-MCU stuff they're bringing into MCU?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to make it happen,
They are actively making it happen.
They are actively making it. Comes out in December. They're making it happen. They made it. It happened. And now it's coming out. We get to see it in action.
Is this a weird question? Did you always assume Spider-Man existed in New York City?
I didn't assume that. I knew that.
As a kid, that's like when you saw him swinging around, you assumed that was New York City?
No, I didn't assume it. I watched the cartoon, and then you just know that that's where it is.
I mean, as a kid, I didn't.
I did.
Okay. I'm piggybacking onto that TMNT. I always knew. Like, before I knew, I thought, hey, they're in New York City, clearly.
Okay, I see.
In a Spider-Man comic, or in the Spider-Man cartoon, as a kid, I didn't make that connection right away. I didn't make that assumption as a kid before I knew. Before they said, hey, we're living in Queens, it's like, okay, well, I know where he's at now. Makes sense. It fits.
Yeah.
It's just, maybe there's a disconnect there as a kid, or maybe I just was dumb. There's always that.
Yeah, I think I associated all the superheroes with, besides Batman, and I didn't watch Superman, so I associated all the heroes with New York City. Because like Iron Man's there, and Fantastic Four are there as well.
Oh, Fantastic Four is in New York City?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
See,
Spider-Man's there, Daredevil's there. Yeah, so much of it's in New York City.
See, I'm the weird one. Setting doesn't matter to me. I want characters and character development. So no matter where Spider-Man existed, he can still be a friendly neighborhood. Maybe that's why I always thought it was weird. because he's a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. And when I think neighborhood, oh yeah, New York City.
Right, the biggest city in the world.
Maybe that's as a kid, that's what threw me off. I don't know.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, I guess until you visit New York, you don't really understand it, you know?
True.
So, yeah, I get that. But yeah, there are neighborhoods. But that's not what you think of. When you think New York, you go right to Manhattan, right?
Right, yeah.
And you go right to, like, you know, Midtown and downtown. You think of, like, the biggest buildings ever. So it doesn't seem like a neighborhood. But, yeah, Spider-Man's from Queens.
Yeah, this is going to be a good movie.
I'm excited, man. It's, you know, I'm a big Doctor Strange fan. And I'm a big Tom Holland as Peter Parker fan. So that's going to be a good combo. I think they already have fun chemistry from Infinity War. So it'll be fun to see that. And we've already seen, obviously they teased the last Spider-Man movie with Mysterio saying that the multiverse was like kind of happening. And then you find out, obviously, like he was just making an illusion with his gadgets.
Yeah.
But
then again, it was happening.
But it was actually happening, yes. And especially with Doctor Strange, mysticism. He's going to break open the fucking reality portal. And then we've seen something in... Did WandaVision end with something crazy like that? Wasn't she kind of going like through portals through time or something? I could have just made that up.
Some witch stuff. Yeah.
I feel like the witch things are going to correlate to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, between witch and, Doctor Strange's abilities,
Yeah. So, correct me if I'm wrong, we see Doc Ock, and then we see the Green Goblin's little grenade thing.
Yeah.
So we're assuming that Peter Parker, or that Tobey Maguire stuff is going to roll in. I don't think I saw any Easter eggs from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man at all. I could have missed it.
Oh, it's a good point. I don't think I did either, but to be honest, they could have been right in front of me, and I probably missed them, so.
Yeah, I should watch a breakdown video. People that know way more than us about this will talk about it, and then we'll just repeat what they say, and then I'll be smart.
Everyone's suggesting that that wasn't
Doctor
Strange. Yeah, they're saying it was some type of demon that was
imposter.
So,
and
which it was weird because obviously it was snowing inside. Doctor Strange was wearing weird stuff, and he was actually acting weird. So it was like, okay, no, I can easily see.
Yeah,
that connection that wasn't Doctor Strange, but maybe something happened where realities are merging regardless. Now that Iron Man has changed the stuff and re-clicked and all that, maybe even outside of what what the Avengers have actually done themselves, maybe realities are merging regardless. So my point is that devil could exist now because of what's happened before.
Yeah.
From another reality.
Yes.
So now that Iron Man's clicked, everything's kind of been shifted and fucked. Maybe that devil now lives on Earth, and now, okay.
What devil? What are you talking about?
The devil that everybody thinks Doctor Strange
is acting like Doctor Strange.
I forget his name, Evil-O or some weird stupid shit.
Oh, is it Mephisto?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I don't know anything about him either. I remember that was, as WandaVision was coming out, a lot of people were kind of thinking that Mephisto was behind the whole thing, until we realized it was Agatha.
Yeah, I mean, Mephisto looks fucking crazy. So, yeah, it could be fun. And maybe we're completely missing something that we haven't seen in Loki yet. So there could be plays on that, too.
Well, now that we've seen Suicide Squad, now we can shift and get into Loki this coming week.
I turned it on, and I just was not in the mood. But, yeah, I think that'll be next. It looks like Mephisto is an extra-dimensional demon, so he can obviously float through them, who rules a fiery pocket dimension that he calls Hell or Hades.
Cool. He's Greek, then.
He's a 6'6" demon.
Damn. That's me with red makeup on.
Yeah. Yeah, so, long story short, yeah, he could be playing the role of Doctor Strange and fucking with Peter Parker, and that's why everything gets fucked. So, welcome to hell, bitch.
Yeah, dude, Spider-Man always gets fucked with.
It's because he's a kid,
That's true.
and he's
Yeah.
friendly.
I like how they played that with Mysterio in the last one. I was never really interested in Mysterio, but
No.
they made it well. I need to rewatch that. Couldn't find it. Could not find it. Ability to watch. I'm gonna have to buy it. Do they have I've talked about this. Do they have like a giant like digital collection of all the Marvel stuff, Phase 1 through 4? I just
They
want
do
all
on
of it.
Xbox, yeah. I think it's like a six film, 7, 8. It's like 8 films now.
Oh no, I meant from Phase 1 through 4, like the first whole before Infinity Saga. It's like the first 21 movies.
Of Marvel, you're saying?
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you meant of Spider-Man. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know. I
I don't need to see those old ones again.
I can't particularly remember if I've seen bundles like that. Probably not.
Probably not.
Remember, it's Disney. They're not going to bundle much.
But they should though. That's what I mean. They can bundle, like, it seems annoying
Just
and
stream
like
it
a
on Disney
cash
Plus.
grab, but like, I know, but like if you collect, you would get it. Like people will buy that. Like hardcore Marvel fans will buy like an Iron Man collection and then also the entire Infinity Saga collection, even though they contain some of the same movies. Like collectors will get that shit.
Yeah.
So they're kind of missing out if they don't include all that stuff together. Just like Star Wars. How many times am I going to buy Star Wars again? You know? Bought it multiple times. We got the VHSs over here that you found.
Yeah, I found him
Someone found them.
in that dusty cave.
Okay.
Mephisto, yeah. I'm excited. Obviously, Tom Holland is my Spider-Man.
I agree.
But it'll be fun if they do, in fact, overlap.
Yeah.
Because it'll be fun. That's it. How many girlfriends is he going to have by the end of the movie?
True. Who knows, man? What if that's part of the crossover? What if it's not Andrew Garfield, but it is, what's her name? What's the girl that's not Mary Jane? I can't remember her name.
I don't know. Oh.
Okay.
I don't know. Mary Jane Watson?
No, the other one.
Gwendolyn? Christie?
Yes. Maybe it'll be her. She'll cross over dimensions and they'll make out or something.
Yeah, Gwendolyn Stacy.
Oh, we also can't forget that Vulture never died. He's just in jail. And he's probably pissed.
Yeah.
Huh. God, I gotta rewatch them.
Yeah, I mean, to see Willem Dafoe back on screen.
That would be awesome, man. I'm here for it.
It's one of those that it was bad and good all at the same time when it first launched. That first Spider-Man movie came out because it was the only thing that stood by itself. You're like, oh shit, I've seen parts of Blade. That was terrible, but also okay, that's fine. And then Spider-Man hit the fucking theaters, and you're like, dude, yes, Spider-Man.
Dude, it was good when it came out.
Yes, absolutely.
But Willem Dafoe's performance, like, it dated now because it was 2000, 2001.
Yeah.
But when it came out in that era, the only thing bad about that movie was Macy Gray. Like, come on.
Oh my god.
That's the only thing I like. Looking back, I'm like, okay, let me fast forward about 30 seconds.
Yeah. What? Macy Gray's in it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
man.
There's like some fucking carnival that Spider-Man swoops into and she's performing, yeah.
Whoa. But yeah, they're going to have to stick like Gabriel Iglesias in this next one just to make it mesh well.
Joe Rogan needs to be doing a podcast at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I think Willem Dafoe kind of reprising the role would be fun. We'll
I mean,
see.
it makes sense. And Doc Ock, I mean, that was the big reveal, and that's one of those like, fuck, we get to do that again.
Exactly.
Perfect. This is perfect. And it makes sense.
And I feel like if they revealed that one, there's a lot that obviously they're not revealing yet.
Exactly.
You know, they're not going to show you Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker in the trailer. But will he be in there? I think so. And are they going to correlate with the Spider-Verse animated movie? Who knows? We'll find out December 17th.
Will Venom
whatever.
show up?
I don't know. I actually never saw Venom, and Venom 2 is coming out this year.
Yeah, obviously Carnage is going to be in the next one.
Yeah, I need to.
I mean, is that dumb for us to like forget that was like a big deal in the Spider-Man cartoons, like Venom and Carnage, and now they like live so separately. But this is a nice opportunity if they did want to throw something cool in there. That was a nice twist.
Yeah, that's the thing is like for a while they couldn't touch those characters, and now they've gradually been able to incorporate them. And of course, the more companies that Disney buys, they can do more and more stuff. But that's the whole question on, does Venom roll into the MCU? I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna count or not. People have been waiting for like Deadpool to show up in the MCU. Same deal there. X-Men, same deal there.
X-Men.
Fantastic Four, that'll be coming out.
Different
like
deal.
22 or 23.
Yeah.
I've always had a weird thing for the Fantastic Four. I don't know why. I think I just watched the Spider-Man and Fantastic Four cartoons back in the day, and we played that Hero Clicks game a little bit in high school, and like the first one I got was one of the Fantastic Four, so I was excited about it for some reason. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see how that goes, but that's it for right now.
What's new?
I just talked about all of the new.
Yeah, but you know what we just did is talked about remakes and reboots and new stuff that's old stuff doing it again.
I know.
What's new?
I know.
What was the last movie that you watched that had nothing to do with a previous movie?
That's a good question.
Tenet?
Maybe. But don't all Christopher Nolan's movies kind of correlate with one another?
They're the same guy.
I watched a documentary. That doesn't really count.
Nope. I need a storyline.
Let's see. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, it's hard.
Well, also I have a really bad habit of rewatching things instead of watching new things. And I know that that's a fault of mine. I do it all the time. Because I was rewatching Eastbound and Down,
Mm-hmm.
And I was rewatching Silicon Valley. I'm trying to think of like the newest thing.
I'm the weird one that I'll watch a movie, love it, and I'll forget that I watched it.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to keep track of them, man.
Yeah.
It's easier with the franchises because it's like, Marvel's got a whole collection of things, different heroes, different movies, TV shows, comics, whatever. So like you're in for the whole universe, and it's easier to keep track of. It sounds like a paradox. It's harder to keep track of because there's so much, but it's easy to remember, I feel, because you're kind of encapsulated by the universe. But yeah, I watched Tenet, and I'm like, it was a fun ride. It's kind of confusing. Did I love it? Yeah, maybe. It was a 2 out of 3. Yeah, Tenet might be the last, new thing, not a remake, not a sequel.
And they had to go to that extent. It was one of the most ridiculous movies I've ever watched.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty. I just haven't seen them yet. But
let's run backwards because you're in forwards, and this is time. So they're passing you, but they can't actively change the past because they're going through the past and the backwards. But your forward steps don't change what they're changing.
It's Palpatine. Always has been.
But it's always been him, so.
They predicted it.
The last thing I watched that wasn't a remake was My Cousin Vinny.
What are you going back to, 1989?
Yeah, that's how far back. Everything else since then has been a remake.
I watched Pokemon.
Remake.
No, the original.
You know what I have been looking for that I haven't been able to find is the 90s Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze.
Oh, yeah. It's on HBO.
Oh, fuck.
So I started watching that because... So Saturday morning, I watch old cartoons with Gia while we're hanging out. And we went through all of Pokemon over the course of a couple months. And I was looking for the Power Rangers show, and I couldn't find it for free. So I started watching the Power Rangers movie instead, 1994, 1996.
Yeah, later.
It's fucking ridiculous, dude.
It's great.
It's great and ridiculous at the same time. Yeah, so HBO Max, you can watch it.
Nice.
Do it.
Nice. It was 1995. God, I would have put money that it was like 97.
Yeah, that was my first guess. Like the show was out for a couple years first before the movie.
Wow.
But yeah, it was 95.
That's much earlier. I literally would have guessed 97, and then if someone said no, it was 98, I'd have been like, fuck, that makes sense. 95.
Because they switched around all the Power Rangers too.
All of them with the green.
Well, sorry, not all of them.
Yep.
But like you have 2 seasons of the show, and then you get to the movie, and it's the Black Ranger is different. Now it's Adam. The Yellow Ranger is different. Now it's Aisha. And the
Blue Ranger was different.
No, the Red Ranger is Rocky now.
Ranger. Rocky, yeah.
Instead of Jason. But you still got Tommy. You still got,
Kimberly.
Glorious ass Kimberly. And then Billy, still Blue Ranger.
Yeah, Mulk and Skull are the same.
Bulk and Skull are I wonder if they're still fucking doing Power Rangers.
That's all they do.
Just like 60 years old.
Fuck.
Running into shit. God, man. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Fun stuff.
Oh, man.
I've heard Alita Battle Angel is pretty good.
What?
Alita Battle Angel.
Interesting. I've never.
The main character is like animated. She's like a robot kind of thing. It's a Robert Rodriguez movie, and I think it was executive produced by James Cameron, something like that. He had something to do with it. I've heard that's pretty good.
Nice. Yep. I mean, that's something I can kind of toss on my list.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even have barely a list anymore. I should.
Mine's so long.
But
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, maybe I should just start creating a list. Or maybe you should just send me your list because we watch the same shit. So.
All right. You've asked for it. It's going to crash your phone. It's so long.
It's the list.
So long of the amount of things that are, not checked off. So the bullet points I haven't seen, the check marks I have seen. I'm sending this to you right now. Oh, my God.
It's like 40, 50 movies.
It's like 6 iPhone screens long. Anyways.
All right.
All right, Danguses.
Oh, that Ryan Johnson movie was probably one of the last ones that I watched, too.
Oh, Knives Out. That was so good.
That was so long ago already.
I know. That was like end of 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It was like holiday 2019.
I just bought it. Oh, by the way, I bought that new Xbox.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
It's
Congrats.
It's a nice upgrade from the original one because I know you have the same one I do, and it's not.
Yep.
It wasn't 4K. And the smallest. I mean, it makes it look so much better. I've been playing Skyrim. Everything jumped over.
Upscaling is legit.
Upscaling. The frame rate looks better. Everything's brighter, more vibrant. It looks like a brand new game.
And it's super fast, I bet, too.
Everything loads immediately. You open a door, and it's supposed to go in a load screen. The load screen doesn't even pop up. You're there.
That's awesome. That's
and it's
awesome.
like, holy shit. I used to go into Markarth or wherever and pick up my phone to check my text because it would sit there for, 10 seconds. No. Click, done, go, boom.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it might be worth it just for loading time.
Oh, and the visuals, it looks better. And there's actually the games are marked. If it has an X/S, they've been updated for the newer versions.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the games is the legendary Mass Effect.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was
remember
like,
seeing that.
Fuck, I'm going to do this. And actually, Jedi Fallen Order. That's another one that's been rendered for the new series. So
Nice.
I'm for it, man. It's a nice buy.
That sounds good. I got to get a new TV before it's even worth it, though. I really do. So I'm just going to wait a little bit. Maybe Black Friday. Get $100 off or $50 off or something like that.
$100 off. It's only $300. You get a
new. Sometimes they do crazy
it.
shit for Black Friday. And you said that the X was going to be sold out for a while still.
I've heard bad things that it's just I have not once seen it available locally.
Yeah, I think they do that on purpose. There's no reason they can't pump out as many of those as they want to.
Well, the crazy thing is, I kept my eye open for obviously even the S, and the S was being hard. Like every 3 months, it would pop up.
Yep.
Locally, and I'm like, fuck. And I passed on it once, and then it came up, last week. I was like, you know what, $300, I'll just fucking do it. I don't think the X is gonna be. They're not gonna test the full capabilities, even if you do buy an X tomorrow. Mm-hmm. No games are pushing the limits of even the S at this point. So everything will be fine for like 2.5 years, and then maybe at that point I'll reconsider getting an X. But it's nice. The S is so small. It's so fucking small.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really, really small.
Smaller than the... Because doesn't Glass Armor have the Xbox One S?
Yes, it's smaller than that.
Really?
Yeah.
Impressive.
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun. It's nice. It obviously doesn't. It's limited on memory.
Right.
I have like four games downloaded, and it's like half full already.
Yeah, but if you honestly, man, if you have good Wi-Fi, and you know that you're gonna like swap out game, like you could download a game from Game Pass, play it,
Absolutely.
and then get rid of it, and then sync the next one up. I mean,
yeah. And how many games are you actively playing? Well, I'm playing like one game at a time. I'm not jumping
exactly.
between games. So
right.
I threw on Battlefield 4, obviously. I threw on Jedi Fallen Order because I noticed it was S capable.
Right.
And then I downloaded Skyrim. Oh, and Mass Effect, Legendary Edition. Those were the games that I was just like, yeah, I'll actively fucking play these right now. So.
Yeah.
But no, I agree. And even, if there's a brand new game like Far Cry 6 is coming out. I know that's right around the corner in like October.
Yeah.
Once that hits, fuck yeah, I'm getting that. That'll be on.
Well, maybe I'll get one in anticipation of Skyrim Anniversary Edition.
It's pretty exciting news, to be completely honest. I know everybody's done with us talking about Skyrim.
No,
and this
never.
is just going to be a nightmare in shining armor.
Things come and go in the life of this podcast. Skyrim is one thing that we've never stopped talking about. And because we keep playing it. Like we've talked about Battlefield a lot, but I know you play it once in a while. I haven't picked it up in a while personally.
Yeah.
But Skyrim, it just never goes away, dude.
Well, Skyrim's something that you can pick up and just play by yourself and feel great about it. Battlefield, I feel okay playing by myself, but you can definitely just get fucked right away because you're not playing with anybody you know. And yeah, I'll turn it on and turn it off within 5 minutes. I'll be like, nope, not today.
Yeah. No.
But the new Battlefield, I'm fucking down for it.
Nice. All right, here we go. We'll end with this Skyrim Anniversary Edition. November 11th, obviously. It includes the full game, all 3 expansions, enhancements from the special edition, all that carries over, 500 unique pieces of Creation Club content, including new quests, dungeons, bosses, weapons, spells, and more. Interesting. It releases November 11th, and the London Symphony Orchestra is doing the Skyrim in concert on Bethesda's YouTube and Twitch.
Did you see what time they're releasing it at, too?
Interesting.
11.
Yeah, man. Very cool.
They should have put it
that's
at
it?
11.
I feel like there should be more than that. There should be more details than that, though, right?
No, that's fine. Make it look better, add a bunch of shit, and let's fucking rock and roll. You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, but I thought there was like even more visual improvements or something. The link that you sent was better.
That might be one to grab on PC. Maybe I'll double down.
I can't, I know the PC thing is like, it's far more customizable and you can upgrade your gear and everything. With console, you get what you get and you're stuck. But it just feels more comfortable to me.
Yeah, I'm a console player.
I can't get cozy and play, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, I'm a console player through and through.
This will be fun. We have to rendezvous and play Skyrim. Start from scratch, man.
I wonder if there's a Thundercats mod that I can download.
Dude, there's mods for everything. The problem is like going through the mod store. The last time I fired up Skyrim and I installed a few mods, you scroll through the store, it's all just bikini mods. It's all just scantily clad female character mods. That's all that's on the fucking store. Yeah,
I'm about to check it out now.
Dude, let's dive back in.
It's
a little ridiculous. It's just porn mods for
See my
Skyrim.
Dark Elf's tits. Yeah.
Yes.
I've seen people remake different like Star Wars sets in Skyrim.
Oh yeah.
And obviously like lightsabers, that's an obvious one, but
right. Oh yeah, who was in our group chat was talking about there was like a Mandalorian mod.
Yeah. I admittedly have never played with mods at all. Not a single one, because I just enjoy the game. It doesn't.
Yeah.
For me, I don't have to change it for me to enjoy it, but
Yeah.
And I've heard bad things. If you do too many mods, it'll fuck it up. But I don't know where that lives and dies. So
Brian Shannon has always been like, I feel like he knows about the mods.
yeah, he's a modder.
Is he? I'm a
I
modder.
just assume. I'm a murder.
All right, Dangus.
All right, good happens.
That's it. We are streaming this live, and if you're listening to this and you want to watch live and talk to us, typically Sundays at 5. Go to our YouTube channel. Just search up Rogue Squadron Podcast. Subscribe. And you can catch us and you can join the chat with people like Lord Kerner, who disappeared for 2 years. So, hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye. Bye, Evan.
Bye, Evan. I'm like a single mother. I wash and dry.
Spance, Kerner, Fucko, thank you. It's
Thank
been fun. It's been real.